congratulations. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, brilliant.
Back to you, Andy.
For Sam McNess, a couple of fights to come. Martin McDonagh against Fons Alexander. It's a professional debut for McDonagh. A good amateur. Saw him in the GB Championships last year. Fons Alexander, great character. So here comes the Fons, 30 years old from Newark. Terrific away corner fighter. Only been stopped 3 times. Louis Adolphe, Darren Tetley, Robbie Davis Jr. And that one against Davis was the last time he was halted in the ring, and that was back in July 2015. And he's had a lot of fights since then. Richie Gray's back alongside me for these final 2 fights. McDonagh sold plenty of tickets for this one. As I mentioned, he's an amateur with good pedigree. Reached some elite finals. Was in the final of the GB Championships in 2016 after stepping in to fight Dalton Smith at very short notice last year. Missed out in the England Elite final against Luke McCormack, who just won a bronze at the Commonwealth Games, and then last December lost to Conor Loftus.
He's a very classy lad. He's down the gym sparring with our boys. I wouldn't be surprised if Alec Wilkie's up there. Yeah, Alec Wilkie's up there with him. Very classy lad. He spars some top boys and some experienced pros, and he knows his way around the ring.
He gave a good account of himself against Loftus, so I was ringside for that fight.
Well, I haven't seen him in action yet. I've just seen him in the gym, seen him sparring, and he's got a lot of talent. But I think he's young, so when you get a man in front of you, we'll find out what he's about. You know, it's a man's game. This it's not the same as the amateurs, so he's got all the moves, he's got all the tools, but can he deliver? We've had a busy bit of company with you here tonight.
Absolutely. It's been great fun, this build tonight. It's been great fun.
Hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope the spectators and everyone watching at home has enjoyed it as much as we have here. Very popular young man.
He has shifted a bucket load of tickets by the look of it. Fons Alexander is a good professional debut for him because he can really fight. You look at his record, and as with so many of the others who do what he does, it doesn't tell you the story. I remember seeing him have a great fight with Sanjeev Sahota, I think it was, a couple of years ago maybe, and at one point he really had him going, and I think if it had been the other way around and he'd been the prospect and Sahota had been the opponent, they might have stopped that fight. Sahota himself is always in great fights. You know, he's another one who's.
You see, the old saying goes, records are for DJs. Records are for DJs.
So this could be interesting, I think. Alexander will fancy the job here of putting McDonagh under pressure, and as you say, this is pro boxing now for him. He's a young man, and he's in with a seasoned pro who's going to try and have a crack at him and make it uncomfortable for him and show him what's what.
He's got that left-handed stance. He'll take a lot from that. He can use that to his advantage very well. Lead leg by his Mr.India sponsor in there. He's from Rumble's Boxing Academy. I see he's got on there, so he's got a little bit of help going on, which is nice to see. Mr.India there supporting him. I'm sure he really appreciates that, and people like that are going to keep young men like this in the game.
Looking for that 1-2 there, McDonagh. He came out quite aggressively.
Sharp, very sharp.
Fons Alexander came flying across the ring right at the start. Nice left hand on the inside there. We've got a good view of that from McDonagh.
Nice and slick, isn't he? Throws his shots and spins off. I mean, I've never done it, but Fons Alexander's hair, you might have thought, might impair his vision from time to time.
I think it's just all part of the, not the act exactly, because there's no acting going on in a boxing ring, but it's all part of the image, I think, really.
Yeah. With all them tattoos he's got going on there, maybe a skinhead might make him look a bit more scary, but
good looking jab there from McDonagh, followed by the left to the body.
Fons coming at him, he's not silly. But that'll suit mine. If he's got an opponent coming at him with his slick skills, he can give him a great opportunity to pick shots and pivot off and show his skill and show his class.
He'll want that more, won't he, than somebody who's just going to come and cover up, I think.
Yeah, massively. I think with the style as well, he looks like with that skill, an opponent coming at him, it'll be like the ball in the Matador. He can use that to land shots and spin off and come back. When he's in the gym, you should see him with his combinations, his foot movement, moving his head. The boy's, he's got it all. Another MTK lad as well.
Good footwork down from McDonagh, just pivoting around that front foot. Using all the points of the compass, turning Alexander. Bit of snap on that one too, taking on the gloves.
He throws a big swing, Alexander. If that one of them lands...
He does, he swings for the rafters, Fons Alexander.
You can see in his face, he's swinging with intention as well.
Nice short, chopping little punches there from McDonagh, who's been accurate and well schooled, and every inch what we know he is so far.
Hardly step a foot wrong in that first round.
Now that was a good opening 3 minutes, wasn't it? Looked sharp.
Looked well, looked very well.
Looked very composed as well, because Alexander came flying at him at the start of the round, and he is a bit of a wild man, let's be fair, and if there was some real obstructive nerves there, if you like, and we were talking about this earlier, then they would be exposed by somebody like him, but he's been boxing a long time, hasn't he, and it shows.
Yeah, showed his class, showed his experience, his amateur experience has turned over for him nicely. Especially, I'm not sure how old he is, but he's a young man, and it would be easy to get caught up in it. The crowd, the music, the lights, it would be easy to get caught up in it and get carried away with what you're doing. And he's controlled it perfectly.
One fight to come after this.
What was originally supposed to be the main event after this.
That's right, Cyril Osgood was supposed to be in with Danny Connor. Danny pulled out 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think, and they tried as hard as they could to get an opponent that the board would approve for that Southern Area title fight. It hasn't turned out to be possible, which is just one of those things. Yeah,
I think Cyril Osgood wants the good fights, and Danny Connor would have been a brilliant fight for him. Danny Connor's been an experienced man, he's been in with some tough opponents, so Danny will be back, and Cyril Osgood will be back again with another 50-50, and both trying to move forward.
There's that jab, nice jab again from McDonagh.
If they're not careful, Martin McDonagh might catch up with them.
Well, super lightweight's been that way for a while now, the last 3 or 4 years. It just seems to be constantly, there are loads of good fighters coming through.
Yeah, every now and then you go through phases of busy weight classes, and then other weight classes not so much going on, and then out of nowhere there'll be a big influx of fighters in one weight division, and that sets the whole class alight.
Right hand to the body, but as soon as he landed it, he was caught with a couple himself there, Alexander.
Fons doesn't look too phased though by anything. He looks quite comfortable and happy in there. He's not winning the rounds, he's getting beat, but he doesn't look in discomfort or out of place.
No, that's true. He's not really looked stung or hurt at any point. He's just finding it difficult to get to McDonagh, isn't he? That's the thing.
So slippery when he throws them. Look, straight out, just on the edge. He's about 4 mil away from every single punch.
And these punches obviously land crisply enough that he doesn't just feel he can walk through them. there's some strength to come for McDonagh. That's clear when you look at his frame, when you look at his physique. There's some filling out to do there.
With this skill, and he builds a bit of man strength on it, who knows how far he can go. He knows when to get out as well. He knows he doesn't get greedy. He goes in, does his work, gets out. Very clever.
There's that 1-2 again. And it's the movement, isn't it? He's never in one place for too long, and it's good simple movement. There's nothing kind of herky-jerky about it. I mean, amateur boxing's changed recently, because since they changed the scoring system, and it's a while ago now, it was before the World Championships in 2013, so the 10-point must, that changed styles. And he's got a good balanced kind of style. But you do still see, don't you, amateur fighters a lot of the time, they're right up on their toes, there's loads of movement, but he's very settled. He
seems to do less. He's not. Maybe it's because he was a high-level amateur, maybe it's the changes, but he's not going straight lines. He does his work and he's off to one side, off to the other side. It's very hard to do. It's very hard to do that effectively, because sometimes fighters try and do it and they move into stuff, and he's doing it very effectively. Perhaps, like you say, it's because the change in scoring has changed the style of amateur boxing.
But it's been a good first couple of rounds for him. Alexander did catch him with a left hand. We just saw it a few seconds ago on those replays, but he's keeping that chin tucked in so it didn't cause him any kind of a problem. And those fighters he lost to in those finals, I mentioned Dalton Smith, Luke McCormack, Conor Loftus, they're all very experienced. Dalton Smith, the least experienced of the three, but a really talented fighter. Luke McCormack and Conor Loftus, and the competition between those three for that place at 64 kilos on the GB squad is absolutely intense. It was Luke McCormack who got it for the Commonwealth Games and returned with a bronze medal, but they'll all be going at it hammer and tongs to try and claim that for qualification for Tokyo. Nice jab again.
He's nice for them crisp 1-2s as well. He flicks that jab out and sets stuff up like that, sets it up perfectly. No signs of being affected by the shots he's taken either. Every now and then one lands and he seems to brush it off and carry on like nothing.
Took the weight back down, McDonagh, and stayed out of the way.
Again, look, just 4 or 5 mil out of range. It'll be frustrating for Alexandra to miss by such a small margin as well. Think if I'm a little bit closer, and that's how Martin might be drawing him in. He's just a little bit closer, and he keeps moving forward and missing just by that little much every single time.
Just turned southpaw for a brief spell there, Alexander. Back orthodox now, but just trying something to see if he could throw McDonagh out of his rhythm.
Clean shots there.
Good quick jab. Brings it back nice and quick. Not too many flaws to pick out here, to be honest.
He's there or thereabouts, you know. I mean, he's transitioning over from the amateur to the pros isn't always easy for all the boxers. Some of them it just doesn't work, but he seems settled enough. He's not rushing in. He's not making loads of amateur mistakes. Every now and then he sits down on a shot. He's not doing everything the same. He's boxing, sometimes jabbing. Every now and then he sits down. It's very mixed, got a lot of variety. Got a bright future if he can keep improving on it and grows into his man strength. I feel like he's trying new things here. He can drop his hands sometimes, drawing him in, and then gets his hands higher.
Still just primed, ready, waiting, looking for that one big shot, isn't he, Fons Alexander? He's not been hurt by McDonagh, and I don't think he feels that he can be hurt by McDonagh. And he's just trying to get to work towards the end of the round there, just swinging with his feet planted, but didn't really look likely to land one clean.
When he comes in hard.
3 rounds down, 1 to go in this one. Scheduled for 4 at super lightweight. Martin Mcdonagh in control of it. Lee Andy Clark and Richie Gray alongside me. Not sure old school to come after this against Innocent and Yan Yu. It's been a good show tonight. Been some good fights. Been some good competitive bouts, and the 8-rounder was really entertaining in particular.
I wasn't with you on that one. What did you think of that one?
Well, we thought a draw was fair. Sean Craig probably made the better start, but then Hill came into it more towards the end, and I think we felt that the draw was a fair result.
I'm a teammate of ID's. I watched the fight from back there, and to be honest, going into the last round, I said he needs this to win the last round for a draw, and he did, and he got the draw. I thought, fair result, why not do it again?
Yeah, absolutely, they could do it again. I mean, I think everybody would want to see that again. Just well matched, weren't they? It was a good match-up as well as styles.
Very well matched. I noticed Martin's got another sponsor on there, two-tone scaffolding. Let's not leave one out. He's got the other one in, and get the other one in there for him. Again, it's so important that people get sponsors and back in, and if anyone's ever thinking about helping a fighter, sponsoring a fighter, doing anything, please consider it, because it changes these guys' careers more than you think. If a young man like Martin gets the opportunity to train full-time without having to think about work and bills, you can be a part of that by helping them, and they wouldn't have these opportunities without them people. And a talented young man like this could do with that help.
Well, the schedule you have to commit to if you can't box full-time, good chopping down left hand there from Mcdonagh, we touched on it earlier, can be pretty brutal, because a lot of lads who come into boxing, the jobs that they take will be physical jobs too, tiring jobs. So you're going from an early morning run to a physically demanding job to the gym, and that, you know, that is very, very difficult.
You find a lot of these boxers, they'll do runs at 5 in the morning, then they drive to work. They're on building sites and bricklayers and scaffolders and what knows else, and then they have to go to the gym and do their sparring, and they're competing against other athletes that get the luxury, if you will, of getting the full amount of sleep, having a run, going to rest again, training, resting again, recovering again. They can think about all their food, they can think about everything, and you don't get the opportunity if you have to work.
Well, that's it. The holy trinity of training really is training, rest, diet, and they're all as important as each other really. And sometimes you hear about fighters who find it difficult to stay away from the gym, and trainers just have to tell them, you must give yourself a day off every now and again. You must, because you're young and you're fit and it feels like you're invincible, but you know,
I'm guilty of that one myself. I'll train myself until my body physically won't do no more, and it's a hard lesson to learn. So any young fighters listening, you need to listen to your body. You need to, even if you don't feel like it, you need to get that rest. Which when you're working, you don't get that opportunity.
Good right hand from Fons Alexander, but again Mcdonagh took it well and then replied with a combination.
Fons, when he switches southpaw, I feel like he's had a little bit more success, but perhaps he's not doing it too regularly because he doesn't want to give his game away that he's doing that. With only 22 seconds left, I don't know how many more times he's going to get to do it.
Well, Fons Alexander has done what he does tonight, rather, which he's always looked for openings. He's always looked to be aggressive. He's always looked to be positive. But Mcdonagh has just had too much skill to allow him into the fight, really. Bell goes at the end of the round, touch of gloves between the two, and he's been in with a lot of good fighters, Fons Alexander, and I think just paying Mcdonagh a few compliments there at the end of their 4 rounds.
He looks impressed. He looks like he was impressed by Mcdonagh's work. I feel like he's telling the corner, I just couldn't catch him. Everything I tried, I couldn't catch him. Sometimes when you watch a fighter, you're thankful you're not the same weight division.
I'm sure you're right. I'm sure that's what's going on in there. Good performance, good start to his professional career for Mcdonagh. I outlined his credentials right at the start, and unfortunately for him, he didn't manage to win any of those major finals, and they really are major finals that I was talking about.
boy's got? He's got some support, the boy.
It is huge support. But that amateur career is in the rear view window now. He's a professional. Welcome to professional boxing, Martin McDonagh. And he is a welcome addition. That was a good performance. Slick skills and accurate punching, crisp punching too. Enough snapping those shots to make Fons Alexander think twice about how he might try and find a way in.
See, again, what we spoke about earlier, a young man like this, it would really benefit him to keep active. He's young, if he's got the back end, he should be as active as he can possibly be, get them fights in and build some experience.
100%. 100%. And with his legion of fans that he's brought here tonight, if just half of them managed to buy tickets on a regular basis, then I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, like you don't need to sell 300 tickets every time you fight. You can do your 100 or 80 and just about cover your bills, but it's enough to keep him out there. So if he can have regular support, if people support this guy or any boxer, try and follow these boxers all the time. If you can't make the fight, try and buy a ticket and send someone else. The boxers cannot fight without ticket sales, and it's the bread and butter of their life at the moment. So.
Martin, congratulations, a win on your debut. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. It's what I've been working for a long time now. Dream come true.
And he was a tough opponent. He's only been stopped 3 times.